want to just have this conversation on the cast?
Yeah, it's already recording.
Oh, okay.
Hey, everybody.
Ian, do you want to lead a AI conversation?
Hey everybody!
Hey everybody!
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back to the King of the Bee.
Me?
I'm your host Ian. I'm here with Ryan and Josh.
It's me.
And today, we're gonna keep talking about ChatGPT.
We started a conversation
Yeah, so
earlier.
Josh was telling us about how it apparently can live translate stuff, and he was demonstrating it.
It's really neat. Because, like, especially, like, for at work, I can see how that could be very useful.
Yeah.
I know there's people out there whose specific jobs are literally just to translate stuff, which is great. However, it's sometimes hard to get, like, a middleman to, like, even help out because there's so many people who need them. So this could relieve some of that. Also, for, like, people like my coworker who works at front desk, she only speaks English, but we live in, California, where there's a lot of people here who speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be very useful for her if she needed to translate something.
Yeah, we're in schools too for either parent meetings to have, instead of having to get a translator or try to use Google Translate, which is the current strategies.
Mm-hmm.
Just being able to pull it up and be able to talk almost real time and have that conversation, or with students who are newcoming students and English learners with whatever language.
I mean, Google does claim to do that. I know that when talking to your mom before, I put the Google Translate app on the table and been like, tell me what she's talking about, and it'll listen. It's never been accurate.
Is that the mosaic? Some of the words are very funny.
Yeah.
The one, I wish I still knew where that screenshot was, but it was like, your mom was giving me the tea about like Becky or something,
Sure,
and it was just like, I know this is not what she's saying, but I love what I'm reading.
Yeah, she's something about bread at some point. I'm like, okay. It's so random.
There's no pan.
There is no pun in there.
But yeah, I mean, even when I went to the barber recently, the guy that was there, he only spoke Spanish, and nobody else was in his shop, except for this one other lady, but she really didn't care.
Which, honestly, get it.
And so he would type into the Google, and then it'd tell me what he said, and then we were typing back and forth. But
see, I wish I knew more like advanced terms that you don't use on a regular conversational speaking way, and see how well it could translate
like
that
in Spanish.
Yeah, or even into English. Like how do you? I'm trying to think of something like
tapestry,
colloquial.
Sure, those words and how it translates into in Spanish, and like if the same meaning is still getting out of it.
Let's try it. Pull her up.
All right. I'm also trying to think like for like if you're working somewhere, there's like terms that you use.
Yeah, like specific like industry terms.
Yeah. And
technical terms.
So it would like I don't know if you could figure that out and be like, this is what basically they're trying to say, or if it means something else altogether. Can you translate English into Spanish and Spanish into English?
Sure, I'll translate the ideas for you.
That's a different voice than last time.
True crime stories, historias de crímenes reales. Personal development, desarrollo.
Let me just interrupt you there.
What is it reading?
That's something I don't know. Okay, so.
It sounds.
Okay. What words?
Tapestry.
Tapestry in Spanish is.
Oh, it worked so well 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. And now it's having problems.
To say tapestry, you go.
Sure.
Apparently that's tapestry in Spanish.
It's evolved into clicking language.
Tapestry.
Why'd you just spit with that?
Clicking language is cool.
It gave it an explanation. I couldn't hear it for anything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we were talking about.
That's fine.
Ryan spit a lot when he clicked.
Look, sometimes.
Apparently, tapestry in Spanish is tapas.
Tapas?
Tapas. Yeah. So there is some words that it can use, but what I wanted, like I was saying, like terms that you use in specific jobs, like if
you're
you're
like deep technical terms, if you're a mechanic or if you're like an astronomer or whatever.
yeah. Like how well can it actually translate?
That's a good question.
But that's something that maybe will get better over time if it's not already there. I wouldn't know any terms to use immediately right now.
What's the most technical term you know?
Technical term for
Either English or Spanish.
Okay, I could not tell you off the top of my head.
Okay.
I don't know. But like when I said devolved into clicking, that's just because clicking is like there's less variations of sound, so it's more to me it's kind of more simplistic in that way.
It's more tonal.
Yeah.
But there's a whole I forget where it is. I want to say it's in Peru, where there's like a language that's all whistles.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, you can't whistle.
Well,
you would
you learn, yeah,
as a kid.
Yeah.
You would have to.
Yeah, they have different ways. It's not the hardest thing to learn how to whistle.
If you don't know how to whistle, you're just a mute.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Basically.
That's cool.
No, they like put their fingers to go certain directions.
I can't do that, man.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
My brother can.
I can't.
Like Johnny, like he can like make the loudest whistle in the world, and I'm right next to him. Like, stop.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Stop it. Like, there's no reason to whistle right now. Why are you trying to make me go deaf?
Well, that's why he's whistling.
Yeah, there. He's a breath sometimes.
So, do either of you use ChatGPT or artificial intelligence in anything?
I have not once ever.
I have. I use it to give me like ideas for like names for characters and like stories.
Oh, we've been doing that we've been planning stuff for the convention and trying to name like activities and stuff, and we'll be like, give me fun names for like, so we're doing an Olympic theme for our competition event.
Sure.
Because the Olympics are happening this year. And we were like, oh, give us a cool name for like a Jeopardy category that's like about the Olympics, and it said like the 5 rings.
Yeah,
it
sure.
sounded epic.
Yeah. Where's the Olympics happening this year?
Paris.
Really?
Petty.
Paris?
No, this is Italian.
Yeah, that's why I was like, sure.
No.
Anyways.
It's not this.
Is a wah. Yeah. But yeah, I use it for that. Literally, I just use it for like random names for things that I can't think of on the spot, and that's basically it.
I don't use it, not because I don't want to necessarily. I just don't. But I do worry that it will lead to a reliance and a decrease.
Like calculators.
But it's more than calculators. It's
No,
not
I
just
know.
doing numbers. It's doing everything.
Yeah.
Like you can write a whole story with ChatGPT. You can do so much. You could translate. Like you could do so much with it now that I feel like people are just gonna rely more and more
I told
on
it
it.
to write me
And
Python
then-
scripts.
Yeah, it can code now, and then I feel like people are going to lose skills because they don't need them. They just plug it into ChatGPT and it'll do it all for you.
Yeah.
And I know that at least in the artistic realm, whether it's writing or art or whatever, like especially since the explosion of AI, what was it, last year or the year before last year, kind of around this
The
time?
end of last year.
Yeah, last year. That was a huge fear. What?
He farted. Go on.
Oh, okay. Really derailing everything. That is a huge fear, and still is for creative people. Like, well, what happens now, right? Like, if you're a writer, you don't need to exist anymore, because if a director or a producer or somebody or in marketing or whatever needs a little blurb written or a little synopsis, they just use ChatGPT. They don't have to pay anybody for it.
Yeah.
It's just done.
But I think part of that is that's the fear that it eventually is going to be taking a lot of like creativity out of the creative process, but doesn't, because ChatGPT uses like sources from everything and then gives you a story or an idea or whatever based off of all those sources. Eventually, people are going to be continuously using the ChatGPT, so the sources are going to be from ChatGPT, and then it's going to become a bunch of like nonsense out of that.
Right, or it'll just get really diluted.
Or that
right,
too, yeah.
Or whatever the opposite is, and just kind of be the same thing. But I think that that's a very realistic fear because in the meantime, before it gets to that point, there already have been a lot of people who have lost their jobs in writing and in creativeness because, like, why would somebody pay somebody to write a story when they could just use ChatGPT and it's going to be good enough now?
Yeah.
And it's going to get better, right? Even though it's been a year or two or whatever, like, it's still new.
Yeah, but we still have plenty of things written by people that aren't the greatest either.
That's very true.
No,
too.
I know.
Like Star Wars Episode 1 probably could have been written by a bot.
Last Airbender could have been written.
Yeah.
Oh,
The movie-
Netflix's Avatar definitely probably written by a bot.
The new Disney movie. I don't know how new. The new Disney movie.
The
Wish.
Wish.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
No.
No.
I didn't.
My coworker Jeff, who is a big movie buff, described it as if you asked AI to write a Disney movie and it's just the most generic, like, cookie cutter Disney movie thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, and I think that part of this problem comes from what we talked about, corporations, because they also have stifled creativity. That's why a lot of the best movies are the movies that are so different. Right? Everything Everywhere, so different from everything. The Whale, like anything A24 has done, they're a great studio because they do different. You know, or even something like Bullet Train, like was that the best movie in the world? No, but it was fun.
Or
It was different.
Knives Out.
Knives Out, exactly. Yeah, because it's different, and I don't think something has to be
revolutionary,
revolutionary, or even like the best written thing in the world.
No,
but different and unique.
And that's honestly what we're leading to.
Side of things that I think will eventually get lost as everything is just kind of regurgitated through the same filters over and over and over again.
I think that's the whole like thing that we want as a society right now. We want things that are different, and because we've gone through the same things over.
Well, that's because all the
again.
media that's coming out, like movies, TV shows, and stuff, it's all regurgitation. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's all retelling the same stories that we've been told millions of times. Like it's not even old or cold yet. Like. People still regularly watch like the regular Avatar, and
which is
they're
great.
like, "Oh, we're gonna remake it," and it's like if, you know, they were all of a sudden to start back over in Naruto. It's like we just finished. Like,
well, I mean, look
3
how many
years ago.
Spider-Man and Batman have existed in just the last 10 years.
Sure.
You know,
But a lot of the Spider-Man.
That's because DC can't get their shit together.
No, but with Spider-Man and
Sony.
Batman too, like just like in the comic books, there are many iterations of them, and that's what they're kind of doing. Not well. But like that's what their idea is.
No, but I mean, they're kind of.
I think the Batman's the same Batman.
Okay, what were you gonna say?
Even the first Spider-Man and the second Spider-Man, I think those stories were very similar. Like, you know, the Tom Holland Avengers Spider-Man, I think that one was finally like pretty different from the other two. But
I think the Tom Holland one really. I think that was more on the actor side because Tom Holland is.
well, but also he was a lot younger than the other two.
Yeah.
Because he was in high school. The other two were like college or older.
Yeah.
Well, and they by having him be part of the Avengers and going to space, I mean, which they even talked about in No Way Home, right? Is like, you went to space, you gotta fight aliens. Like they had him do different things. It wasn't the same street level Spider-Man that
New
we've
York,
seen. Yeah, in
doing
New
all
York.
the same thing.
Right. I mean, there was some of that, right, in Homecoming and whatever, but they did try to do different things, which is fine. And to your credit, like, Spider-Verse, I think, is the best example of, like, doing Spider-Man, but different, because you follow Miles Morales, and Peter Parker's there, but then you see Spider-Gwen, and you see all these other different Spider-Men that are there. It would be cool to see more of that. But that's not what they're doing.
Yeah, we got 3 Peter Parkers.
Yeah.
3 Peter Parkers.
In 20 years.
Yeah.
4 if you include Jake Johnson.
Who?
Well, he's...
The voice actor for the animated one.
Got it.
Which is great. Jake Johnson's a great Spider-Man. Like, I'm not...
He's a great, like, I don't care about anything Spider-Man.
Jake Johnson is good at what he does.
Have you guys seen the new X-Men 97 or whatever?
No, but I've heard it's good.
I heard it's good. On the topic of Spider-Man, I hear that he makes a cameo in there.
Of course he does.
Yeah. Because he,
But
same universe.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, ChatGPT.
AI.
AI.
So you said you were saying that your professors are telling you, like, Just use it.
Oh yeah, I had one of my professors in one of the classes I just finished this semester, who like he was talking about. This was like in our first class. He was talking about like, yeah, if you have to do lesson plans and stuff, because counselors have to do lesson plans. Which, to be honest, I'm still unclear on in a lot of ways, even though I've done them before. But nobody really explains what that means. But anyway, he was talking about like, yeah, if you have to do lesson plans or something like that, he's like, just use ChatGPT. He's like, you don't have to write them out. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like, you know how to do them. You know what you want to do. Just plug it in and get your lesson plan. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, use the tools you have. Spend time on things that you need to spend time on, but things that you don't waste your time on.
Yeah, and I mean, I think part of our skill set, like, sure, we might not know how to do basic parts of your job, but, like, ChatGPT can write a lesson plan, but it can't do, like, the rest of your job. So I think it really is a tool, and the people who start excelling in their fields are the people who use it to the best, or, like, optimally. Because, like, I can use it to write a function, but if I don't know what to ask for, it's probably not going to perform well. It's probably not going to do, like, exactly what I want it to. And if there's an error, I either have to be able to figure it out or keep asking ChatGPT, but sometimes you just go in a circle where he keeps going, oh, sorry, here, I fixed it, and then does the same thing. You know, like, that's not what I asked, and, you know, you still have to be able to work with it. It's more like a partner or a team member than, you know, just somebody to take over for you.
Right now, do you think it could get to a point where you just put in a simple prompt and it'll pop it out perfectly?
Code?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think it'll ever advance to that point?
I mean, I think it might, but...
As of right now.
But, like, the other thing is, like, you know, a lot of stuff is in, like, AWS or the cloud and stuff, and you're using multiple parts together. I think you could have it write code for, like, each part, but you have to know how to put them together. Which is why, like, my boss told me, like, it's probably becoming a solutions architect is going to be more important, because it's like you have to know how to put the pieces together.
Interesting.
And then you can use ChatGPT to write the individual parts, but...
I mean, it does save a lot of time. You
but,
don't have to do that
like,
yourself.
Also, it might not be the code might not be optimized for cost, or, like, a lot of other things, so it's, like, you'd still have to, like... work with it or know like what needs to be tweaked and stuff like that, because just because code works doesn't mean it's the best way to do that thing.
Sure.
You know, if we're using coding as the prime example here.
For this question.
But like even like so we're working on stuff for the convention, and I work at a math company, and like one of the games is like math riddles. Some of the riddles it would create, well, first of all, were dumb. But some of them it would give you the wrong answer to the riddle, and then Shannon would even put the riddle back in as like a question and give us a different answer.
Yeah.
So one of the riddles was like, I'm a 3-digit number where my hundreds place is 1 less than my tens place. My tens place is less than my ones digit. What number am I? And it said the number was 210.
But 2 is bigger than 1.
Yeah, it did it like in the reverse order. Yeah. And also there's so many different answers to that question.
Right.
Because there's no constraint on like ones versus hundreds or anything. So it could the answer could be like 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, like and so on. So I'm like, well, first of all, it's not a good riddle, but second of all, it's wrong.
Right.
Or like one of the riddles that was written was I'm a number between 1 and 10. If you multiply me by 8 and divide me by 4 or something, you get the number of Olympic rings, which is 5.
I'm trying to get to 5, yeah.
The answer is 0.5. But the very first thing it said is, I am a digit between 1 and 10.
Right, which is 0.5 is less than 1.
So. 0.5 is less than 1, and it's not a digit. It is a decimal.
Right.
So, I mean, it's...
not perfect.
You have to be able to proofread it, or else you're going to get really bad stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a really nice tool to use, and it's nice if you pay the $20 a month, because then it's like current data if you need it to be current. Like if you're making riddles and stuff, you don't, but like when you're writing code and stuff, it's useful.
Yeah.
But and for solving problems and stuff, but. Yeah, I think it's a nice tool. It'll make our jobs easier, and if we're not getting paid more for doing what we're doing, why not make it easier?
Absolutely, especially for someone who is working.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
keep working super hard when I'm not getting paid appropriately.
I don't even freaking care.
What do you even write lesson plans for in camp? counseling?
Like if you're giving classroom presentations or if you're doing group counseling, you need to have like lesson plans for like what you're gonna do each session, so you kind of have an idea, because you can't just walk into like a 6-session or 10-session group counseling and wing it. Like you gotta know what you're gonna do. What is the point of the group? What are you talking about? What are you here for? Who's gonna be in the group? What are the activities? So it's just putting all that stuff out.
Yeah, great tool. Should be utilized in specific ways, but not depended on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I get that. I just remember like a year ago. I guess it was a year ago. Yeah. I was in the Horror Writers Association, and I went to a meeting of like I think it was the.
You're in a Horror Writers Association?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
I was there for a year, and then I went to counseling, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be a writer.
Fair enough.
But I went to a meeting once, and they were talking about AI, because this one person in the association was telling everyone that she had written this story, and she was trying to get it published, but the publisher rejected it because in her story she like had included AI, like this computer AI, as like a character. And had it say like, oh, it says this, like the computer says this as the AI, right? I don't remember what it was, but the computer AI was a character in this story. But because she mentioned AI, the publisher didn't want anything to do with it, because this was right when the big AI boom, ChatGPT came out, and everyone was freaking out about it. And so she had to completely rewrite that whole part of her story. Because the publisher, and it wasn't just the one publisher, it was like multiple publishers were like, anything to do with AI, we want nothing to do with. Even if it's not, because their fear was like, oh, it's written by AI, and you have to put written by AI. And she's like, it's not written by AI. Like, all I said is, the AI said this. You know? Like, it's dialogue, it's
just
a
like
character.
a robot. It's like
a character.
C-3PO or R2-D2, but...
Right. But they were all freaking out about it. And then the guy who was my mentor last summer in the program, he had created this collection of horror stories, and for artwork for them he used AI for it, because he's like, hey, this new tool is cool and it's like making some cool stuff, so I'm going to use it. And he was not allowed to publish that. He had to get rid of all of the AI art and like either figure it out himself or, you know, find some free stuff for it. But he was not allowed to publish it, and he owns his own publishing stuff, like his own publishing company he was in charge of. But, like, because of the climate, he was strongly urged to not use anything AI. And so I remember talking to him. He's like, yeah, I have to get rid of all the AI art I made and figure out something else for this. And I was like, that kind of sucks, because it looks really cool.
I do really feel like, especially for art, though, like, one of the problems is, like, maybe when you're working with an artist, like, trying to get them to draw exactly what you want. And with AI, because you can keep iterating over it very easily, and no person's actually like sitting there doodling for hours and going like, oh, is this what you wanted? And then you're like, no, because that's what we did with our logos and stuff. I was going back and forth for so long. It would have been so much easier. And I mean, AI could be used as a tool where I'm like, okay, I finally got what I want. Now let me find somebody to actually like make this and maybe like add that personal flavor onto it. But I definitely could see why, you know, just having that ability to kind of do it yourself, because I can't actually draw, but I have a picture in my head of what I want. And sometimes conveying that to an artist is like really difficult.
Right. Well, and that is the conversation, right? Is you do have a lot of people, you know, like marketing, I think, is one of the biggest fields in which that is the perspective. Is like, well, I have an idea for what I want my logo to look like, or what I want this brochure to look like, or what I want this billboard to look like, or whatever, or what I want this blurb to say about my product. Why would I pay someone to do that art when I could just put it in and get something that's pretty close enough and good enough for what I want? And that's great, but then that is the people who don't have jobs anymore. And I think part of the thing too with the AI art is all the copyright stuff that was going on. Because like you said, it does just pull stuff from existing stuff. And I know that there was a huge issue. I saw a lot of this coming up last year too, when this was all new. I haven't seen so much recently, but like pulling stuff where it would literally have the copyright logo for something in the art. And so there was just, because this was so new and literally new, there's no legislation around this. There's no rules around this. And so I don't know if that's changed. I imagine it has. I'm not super up to date on what the current AI
I mean, I'm sure for
is.
legislature, though, nothing's been done. They care more about banning TikTok than regulating AI.
I know. But that's part of the problem is like, okay, if this is something, whether it's writing or whether it's art or whatever, if it is something that is pulling from already established pieces of art or works of literature, yes, it's rearranging it, but is that still infringing upon the copyright of this stuff? Because that's a conversation with music too, right? Like there's been so many musical lawsuits because like, oh, this song sounds like this song.
Yeah.
This song sounds like this song. It's the same.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran would have quit music if he lost that.
But it's the same argument essentially. It's like
just being done to an AI.
Yeah, and except in this case, it is literally stealing stuff and just kind of mashing it all together. And AI isn't an entity that can be sued. So what do you do about that? Is that the person who created its responsibility? Is that the person who uses its responsibility? No one knows.
I mean, I definitely feel like it should have to, if it's drawing stuff or writing stuff and taking exactly from other people's work, it should definitely, I feel like, have to cite, its sources and just be like, I created this image based off of the works of these people.
Yeah, I agree.
And then that way, those people are still credited. Because it's just like the same way if you're making a new song and you sample somebody else's song or something, or like maybe use a lyric from somebody else, like verbatim, you have to credit those people as like a writer or all this stuff.
Right.
I definitely feel like it should be the same way where it's like, okay, we made this thing, it is based off of this. If you want to make changes, you can make it your own. But as of the way I made it for you, these are the writer creds.
Yeah, but that's so complicated though. I mean, because if it is like for AI, like pulling from so many different sources to make a picture, like that could be 100 name long list of credits.
I mean, the writers in music or like, I mean, you see a movie, those credits scroll forever, and sometimes there's such a large section, but the font's so small because there's just so many people. But it's like everybody who wasn't involved in this process should be credited.
Yeah, I agree. I think definitely people should get the credit that they deserve for creating stuff, and especially if they have copywritten something, like that's theirs.
Yeah,
that's how that works. It's just very complicated, and I don't think we as a culture was ready for the AI revolution, and it just happened.
It did just happen, and it got so good so quickly.
Yeah, and there is no stopping it, and there's no putting it back.
No, absolutely.
Like, it's one of those.
Well, but I mean, AI has been worked on for a long time. It's not like it was like a brand new thing. Like Microsoft's been working on like the robot lady for like so long.
But that's
yeah,
all.
What is her name?
That's all like far removed from the public, or this really kind of esoteric, or like high tech kind of lab nerd sciencey things. It's so far removed from the norm that every day the public that it's like, yeah, that's been happening, but like once ChatGPT came out, it completely changed the world overnight.
Yeah, but without those other things, we never would have made it to the point that we got to.
No, absolutely.
Because they were working on these projects for other stuff, and they were like, oh, you can actually use it for like everything.
Did you guys ever see that whole voice maker AI thing that they did? No. Where basically you say like a couple phrases using your voice, and then it can speak back to you in your voice perfectly.
Oh, that's weird. I don't like that.
Yes. What I'm trying to say is, though, they had tried this probably like maybe 3 years ago, and they tried to do it, and it was choppy. It was like, sure, it's the person's voice, and you can understand it's the person's voice, but it's like, hello, my name is, and then the inflection was off.
Right.
3 years to today now, the inflections are all really well done.
Yeah.
Like have you ever seen this?
It's getting so much
that
better.
looks familiar.
That's Sophia, Microsoft's
it does
assistant robot.
Yeah. Assistant robot, as in she's just an AI that like talks to you.
So
Customer service.
She was. It was like she was being poised to replace like kind of secretaries or office front desk people.
I want to look her. She's Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, because it's like that.
It's really
but
creepy
not
and they're like-
real.
Yeah.
But one day we're gonna get real androids, dude. Like that's what people want.
But yeah, I mean, people want like their own C-3PO type of thing.
I know.
Human cyborg relations.
I know. I want an R2D2 too. He's
I
cute.
definitely want an R2D2.
Yeah, he's cute.
One of the next things I'm gonna print is like a 12-inch tall R2D2.
That's fine.
It's gonna take 70 hours.
Just be there.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be great.
You like open it up and he like has snacks inside.
Oh, make him a candy. Make him a cookie jar.
Yeah, make him a cookie jar.
Yeah.
Just like sure he could be cute, and then if that's what you want, yeah,
But
by all
also
means.
cookies.
But like cookies, yeah.
Cookies.
I'm just giving you ideas. You take
Me
them or
too.
leave them.
Me too.
I mean, generally, it's also not a good idea to like mix food and 3D print plastic, but
Okay, just put like a little plastic inside of it.
Yeah.
put more plastic.
Yeah,
Put it
put
like
a
a
little-
trash bag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a trash can too. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
A
Multi-use.
12-inch trash can.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not? It's
But-
like a car trash can.
Yeah.
Car
I'm
can.
just giving you
We're
ideas.
just spitballing.
Yeah.
Look,
You make your cute R2D2. I'm here for it too. I'm just saying there could be extras.
yeah.
Give it Bluetooth.
Make him a speaker. And he can roll
You put an
around
Alexa in
speaking.
there.
That'd be so cute. Make ChatGPT make the design
Is
for
he
that.
gonna have wheels to roll?
Can he?
ChatGPT is not good at making 3D designs.
Is it not?
Mm.
No, I've used it plenty for that. It's
They're subpar at best.
yeah, because what was
Because I would love if ChatGPT can actually do that. Someone who doesn't know how to make a
I was
3D
trying to make an
print.
art.
And all these people selling like the Etsy designs of like the fruit and whatnot for like
The devil
ridiculous
fruit.
for ridiculous amount, which I guess I get
Which
because
that's the thing too. That's a whole like once people can just do stuff on their own, all these artists are going away.
yeah, which I guess I get. I'm the problem. I want it to be easy for me.
Which who doesn't?
Yeah.
You know, but that
Well,
is the
and
thing.
because artists or charge a lot to
Yeah.
like, and I get that they put a lot of effort into it.
Yes,
But like that
absolutely.
one picture I paid for like the 8 of my friends and stuff, where it looks like he pretty much just redrew exactly the picture of me and pasted it
I
into
mean,
like the picture
That's
of
how I feel about
Bard.
Yes, we already talked about that.
but you know that costs $800.
Yeah.
which is ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It especially if it literally just looks like a copy paste. Like
Yeah.
if there was like more like
I think the coolest thing
personality
he
behind
did
it.
that shows personality and stuff is like the background.
sure, but backgrounds. Yeah, backgrounds are hard.
Yeah.
But it's not there for personality.
But like, cause all the splash arts from the skins that he used, like pretty much exactly. He didn't draw them in like our style or anything. It was
Yeah.
like,
Because if that's the case, then yeah,
Yeah.
that, you pay what you got for, and that'd be
and
amazing.
like it's really cool. And props to the guy for doing it, cause he also had like a pretty quick turnaround time, and it was nice because it was around the holidays and stuff. I only did it because I split it with my friend, so it was like 8 characters, so it was like $50 a character.
It's 400.
Okay, might have been plus background and some other stuff.
Another 400 for background?
Well, I'm saying like all of these added to it, so maybe it was more like 80 or something per character. But yeah, I split it so that it was like, okay, for each of my friends, I spent $50 on this Christmas gift for you, like,
Yeah.
and that's more realistic than like if I did 100.
No, absolutely. I feel like if for generic stuff, like you were talking about before, to like give you an idea for someone else to kind of help you out, because you can't necessarily get your ideas out, but it could help you
Yeah.
out with that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
'Cause I'm not-
absolutely.
Because I mean, as you know, I'm very particular in how I like things to look.
I'm very aware.
And sometimes I'm not good at explaining what I want out
I'm
of.
very aware.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Stop.
You're saying it. What do you mean?
We're agreeing.
I don't need you to agree so strongly.
I'm
Wait,
not-
we-
But
When you're right, you're
like
right.
it'd be
Ian.
nice to be able to
You
have
love to be right.
something.
keep going. Keep going.
Stop.
Do another one.
Stop. No. But it's nice to have like a tool that would help me kind of translate what I want to them.
Yeah, just like
But-
ChatGPT.
And
If you want to
also,
sponsor us, be our first sponsor. I don't know what we
Our
do.
first ChatGPT.
We will make skits with ChatGPT.
Oh, just the most random, obscure thing.
are we a comedy show now?
We could be. We could be whatever we want.
Are we not funny?
Well, I mean, like...
Do you think we're funny?
I think you're funny.
Mom and Auntie think we're funny.
Mom thinks we're funny.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah, it's
It
true.
is.
Yeah, we have our fan base.
Yeah.
A family.
What was I saying?
I'm sorry, we did.
Oh, I was gonna say, but it would also be nice if, like, you know, I pretty much already give them a rough draft to go off of. You know, maybe it could be a little cheaper so that it's more accessible for me. But, like, they're still getting paid to do stuff, but they also don't have to work as hard to, like, come up with what I want.
Sure, yeah.
It's hard though.
Again,
because
it's a
knowing
tool.
or to an extent, to a superficial extent, knowing the life of an artist, it's hard out there, man. And there's,
Absolutely.
especially I feel like in the last, certainly since COVID, but even before that, it's just the market is so oversaturated.
Yet too many people are trying to become an artist, so it makes it hard. And they're like, we're all struggling.
An artist,
don't use
a
this.
writer, an actor, like it's just everything is so oversaturated that it's so hard to make anything. And there's a lot of really cool, talented people out there, but there's just you can't find them because everybody.
They're lost in the
Are
sauce.
we still making our book this summer?
No.
I don't know. We do whatever. I think it'll take more than a summer to write a book.
Well, gotta start.
We gotta start somewhere.
Anyways,
Work on it.
bring that back.
But yeah, it's hard. It's hard, and it's even harder. And so like, I empathize because I'm like, yeah, like I want to support people who deserve the support. But yeah, it is expensive, and it's easier to just plug and chug.
Yeah.
It's a complex.
Because like I'm also struggling over here, so like, I empathize, but I can't always monetarily empathize.
Yeah, and that's really the issue. Everything comes back to money.
Yeah, unfortunately, the world revolves around it, and I don't have much.
Yeah.
Or that's another argument, devil's advocate against AI is you're taking even more money away from people by not paying them to do jobs that they would have been paid for, but now just doing it AI and either keeping it or
See,
whatever.
but because my opinion is that for more personal projects, I think it's fine. Definitely for like, big movie companies and all this stuff.
Yeah, they should.
They definitely should be using human talent.
But why would
Absolutely.
they when they could just do it with AI?
Yeah, it'd be cheaper.
Exactly. That's less overhead for them.
Yeah, that's the issue behind it.
Even more so for a big company. Like, why would I hire a writer's room when I can just plug my prompt into ChatGPT, get something good enough, and start from there?
I also think the writers are gonna get something better out of a service like ChatGPT. And sure, you could argue that now you're only hiring one instead of maybe like 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Which is still a huge loss.
Mm-hmm.
But it is way cheaper.
But I don't think-
that is the argument.
I don't think creativity should be rewarded for coming from an auto generator.
I agree.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, the next big blockbuster, I would not want it to come from something like ChatGPT where it was written like that, because it's like anybody, because at that point you're like anybody could do that.
Well,
You just have the money to turn it into a thing, but I could also get a really good script from ChatGPT, but nobody's funding me.
But that's the thing, is that will exacerbate even more so the wealth gap.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, if you have money, you don't need talent. You don't need to find talent. You don't need to have ideas.
Yeah.
You just you use ChatGPT to give you a thing, and then you fund it and you make it. And that will be the future at one point, where the next blockbuster will be a ChatGPT done by some rich kid.
I hope that's not the case.
It's gonna be, though. It's gonna be. It's inevitable.
I hope that it still be recognizable to the point where you'd be like, this feels off. This feels like there wasn't like a creative thought behind it. It was just like auto-generated. I hope that we can identify.
Well, and I would also
initially,
hope
maybe-
that you have to cite it somewhere, because then it will get so much bad press people don't watch it.
Yeah.
Because I still think that the large majority of people would rather support a person than a robot.
Absolutely. The people who are making it, though, like...
The people who are making it
But
might
that's-
love it, but maybe they'll
but
quickly
that's
learn
the
that
thing.
it's a waste of money to spend
Has
billions.
Disney learned their lessons?
Disney?
Yeah, on like all the live action crap that no
No.
one cares about. They've still dumped millions and millions of dollars into movies that people don't watch. Why? Because the marketing says this is what people want. So if AI is cheaper to produce movies, then it doesn't matter so much if people watch it. They can crank out a movie a week.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're still using actors and stuff, I mean, for animation, that could become the thing.
Yeah.
But for
that was a
any
bit
live
hyperbolic.
action stuff,
it was a bit hyperbolic, but you know the point that I'm trying to make is like it's cheaper, it's faster. Mm-hmm. The whole pre-writing time, the whole script writing time, like that whole chunk of the process in the pre-production's gone basically, and so you can make movies so much quicker.
For a lot of big corporations, it becomes more of like quantity over quality,
which is already a trend that we've seen that has already been going poorly.
Yes.
And so you give companies the opportunity to lean into that, and we're just going to get more of that. And I think that is,
do you think,
for me, a big concern.
Do you think that we'll get to a point where we have like
how long have we been going?
38 minutes. Good amount of time. You think we'll get... I lost my train of thought.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's gone.
Do you think that...
Ow!
Ooh, you good?
Ow! That was all on like a corner of my big toe.
Oh, oof.
What did you say before that?
I was just trying to help Josh remember.
No, but what did you say before he...
I was just saying that by making the process even easier and quicker and cheaper for companies, they're going to inevitably, because profit is king still, lean more into quantity over quality, which is already a direction we've been going that's already been poorly received by a lot of people, but they're still doing that. So if we make that easier for them, or not we, but these tools make that easier for them, that is inevitably the direction they're going to go.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I feel like you had a really good...
I had something there and I lost it.
I mean, I will say, I do hope that, we are in the era of big business and all that stuff. I do hope that we start to swing, and I do think, public sentiment is swinging in that direction of anti-business and, like, major corporations and stuff like that, because, it's just sucking everything out of, what it's possible for us to achieve, and we're gonna hit another Great Depression if things keep going the way it is.
Yeah. So support your local businesses. Go to the local coffee shop instead of Starbucks if you can. Support local artists. Do what you can because it matters.
Don't support the war. There's still more than one going on.
Yeah. And yeah,
how's that going on?
I always forget that Ukraine's still fighting.
Yeah, they're still going.
And we're still giving them lots of money.
They're still going. They need it. We're getting off topic though. But yeah, we gotta support the little people.
Yeah, we just gotta support the creative process.
We do.
That's ultimately what it comes down to.
I concur.
But it's so hard.
It is hard because it's easier to do other things.
It's easier.
It's easier. Yeah. And that's how they get you.
Yeah. We've been so conditioned to just take the easy route out. Because why put a lot of effort into it?
It's because we're all too tired to do anything else.
Well, it's not even that. It is conditioning. Because, like, you look at the students and, like, yeah, they don't want to work. They don't want to be uncomfortable. I have a girl who comes to the office all the time to talk to me. Just when she's uncomfortable with anything, like there's someone in her class she doesn't like that day. So yesterday she literally just didn't go to PE because there was somebody in her class she didn't like that day. And it's like they have no ability to cope or manage their situations because they are being taught that they don't have to.
It's true.
Right? If there's something wrong,
criticism.
And AI cannot solve these issues.
Well, no, this is a different conversation. But
I was trying to reel it back.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird world right now.
It is a weird world.
Like AI can solve, projects and other stuff. It cannot solve intrapersonal connections or relationships.
So find a field where you will not be outsourced to AI.
Wait, I have a question for you because you have.
I do want to know
You work with
Don't interrupt them
people, with children specifically, and you were talking about earlier how like you can tell some kids use ChatGPT.
Yes, you can.
Okay, what do you mean by that? What exactly do you mean?
The verbiage.
It's too concise.
No, it's just too. Like sophisticated, I guess.
Even for like a 5-year-old.
Well, no, because like I'm working at a junior high, but just like reading how junior high kids write and how they talk. It's not a high literacy.
Yeah.
It's not mid literacy. Like their literacy, and I think that this is a condition perhaps of. I don't know what it is, but I think literacy rates certainly aren't great right now.
Mm-hmm.
And just to veer off before I circle back, when students come in with like a problem or something or peer conflict or something happened, we have them write incident reports so we can have it documented. Reading those incident reports, handwriting is atrocious 99% of the time. There's so many times where like I'll have a report, someone have a report, we'll just walk to each other and be like, hey, what does this say? What does this look like to you?
Why don't you...
What does this letter look like?
Why isn't it like digital so that they can just fill it out?
Because they have to write... It's paper still. And see, that's the thing, right? Because that's part of the problem, is you make everything digital and then they can't write. Because part of the problem is they have their phones and they don't need to know how to spell because autocorrect will fix it for them. And also just the culture of texting doesn't care about spelling. No. Like, you get kind of close enough and people will figure it out.
It'll autocorrect, too.
Or you just spell things wrong and that's socially acceptable in that kind of climate. And so kids don't know how to spell and they don't know how to write because they're increasingly being told they don't have to.
Yeah.
So then they come in and they try to write something and it's hard. It's hard to read. And these are 7th and 8th graders. Like, they should know how to write. They should be able to write. It should be generally legible. And it's not a lot of time. So when you get that, and you understand the basis of how that works, and then you see a paper that says, the deep tapestries of the thing, and it's just like, this, you didn't write this.
This is
you didn't write this. I can tell in the first 5 words that you did not write this paper. Because the verbiage and the vocabulary is way higher than they normally speak. And yes, to your credit, earlier they could be using thesauruses or whatever.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's to their credit because they're probably not using those words correctly. Just like people in ours.
In general, no.
In our grades did. And that's teachers were like, I know that you were like, oh, I'm using this word too much. What's like a synonym? And then you just use that without thinking about anything around that word.
And that's another clue of AI is if it makes sense. Or if it makes sense and you're like, I know you don't even know what this word means. Like, there's no way you're using this right. And as a caveat, there are some students who do have a wider vocabulary. There's a lot of smart kids out there.
Sure.
Is this episode going to be called AI/illiteracy?
No. It's
no, because this is all
AI
tied
helps
in.
into it, yeah. No, go on.
And because the point is like the biggest indicator for me, my experience with this year was I was reading, what are they called?
Books.
Words.
No, words. Yeah, they were.
We're on the same page.
They were. What is the word I'm looking for?
Paragraph.
It was. So students who are in honor society who wanted to be an officer in honor society had to write like a
speech.
No,
a
not
resume?
a speech. Like a paper on why they
Sure.
should be an officer or
Sure.
why they wanted to be an officer.
Declaration of intent.
A letter.
Sure, something like that. Yeah.
Letter
so
of
they
intent.
were like,
that's what they call it.
there you go. So it was like a page or two of persuasive writing as to why they should be chosen to be an officer in honor society. And so off the bat, right, it's honor society. So 3.0 or higher GPA. So these are kids who are, doing well in school.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a paper that you're like reading it and you're like, okay, this sounds like someone wrote it and like the verbiage is what you would expect and like the grammar's okay, but it's not great. And then you get a paper that has all these big words in it and flows nicely, and you're just like,
what's so funny though?
This is AI.
Is
like,
because
you can tell.
You can say like, write it at like a 4th grade reading level, or like write this how like a high schooler would do it, or something like that. So that's definitely where it becomes, You have to know how to use your tool to get what you want. And these people are just saying, write this for me.
Not they probably just put up the prompt in, like, I want to be an officer in our society.
Like no one ever was.
Right. And then whatever it
gives you the
out,
whole Pokemon song lyrics. Gets awarded in there.
Whatever it cranks out, they just turn in. But, like, you can just tell based on the structure of the writing, based on the word usage, based on the punctuation, sometimes that, like, this was not written by an 8th grader, you know, or someone at this age. Even, like, sometimes it feels just robotic, right? It feels like it's written to sound impressive, but that's not how people talk.
Yes.
That's not how people write.
Yeah.
You know? So it's kind of trying too hard sometimes, too. But it's hope, very clear.
I hope that we can, whenever, you know, this becomes more common ground that everyone basically knows it, because it's probably leaning in that direction.
They do it.
That it'll we could still be able to figure out, like, this doesn't make sense from who it's coming from.
I think it's possible, because I think usually when you write something, and I've also have read, because they just took the state testing, and there was some students who wrote some things that were, like, flagged for whatever reason. They were all fine. It was just whatever. It's fine. But me and one of the other counselors had to kind of address, like, look at what they wrote and kind of talk to the students, make sure they're fine. But, like, you know, and you could tell, right? The writing was good, like, especially for them. But again, it's not AI writing.
Yeah.
The verbiage is how you would expect a 7th or 8th grader to write. The way it's written is how you would expect it to write. So, like, knowing your audience, knowing who is writing it, really makes it very clear when they are not writing it.
Absolutely. All right, and you're
Okay.
dying to say something.
Yeah, having a little giggle fit over there.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing was because Dad texted me, can you help me fix my camera again?
Oh, that's funny.
And it's like, oh, I feel like I do this every, like, couple months.
Yeah, you tech support.
But, so, at first I was like, how do I was curious, because I was like, you know, you can't use AI for interpersonal conflict, right? So I asked it, I was like, how do I deal with the bully in my school who calls me names and takes my lunch?
Beat him up.
So AI
Sound
said...
like the girl I talked to yesterday. I'm just gonna punch her. No, you're not.
That's not the way to do it. We use our words.
No, you're not.
So it says, dealing with a bully can be challenging, but there are several steps you can take to address the situation.
Okay.
Number 1, tell a trusted adult. Speak to your teacher, school counselor, or your parents about what is happening.
School counselor.
They can offer support and take steps to ensure your safety.
That's
good
good
advice.
advice.
Number 2, stay calm and confident. Bullies often look for a reaction. Try to stay calm and avoid showing that you are upset. Walking away can be a powerful response.
Oh, it's true.
I agree.
Number 3, avoid being alone. Staying close to friends or in areas where there are other people around, bullies are less likely to target you when you're not alone.
That's true. Yeah.
Stand up for yourself assertively. If you feel safe doing so, calmly and assertively tell the bully to stop. You can say something like, I do not like it when you call me names. Stop it.
This is like an 80s PSA.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Stop. No.
Not today.
You won't bully me today.
Number 5, document
Suspender.
the bullying. Keep a record of what is happening, including dates, times, and what was said or done.
Go to
This
the
can
office,
be helpful
write
when
an
you
incident
report the bullying. 6, seek help from your friends. Let your friends know what's happening so they can support you and avoid the bully.
They could also tell the counselors too if you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Go to the office and write an incident report.
7, practice self-care.
What?
Focus on activities that make you feel good about yourself
Sure.
and help reduce stress, such as hobbies, sports, or spending time with supportive friends and family.
Sure.
Remember, you don't have to face this alone. Seeking help is a sign of strength, and there are people who can support you through this difficult time.
I agree with
Not
the
bad.
majority of the things.
That's
you
not
said there. Yeah. Some of the way you can go about it is
Stop.
stop.
No.
Stop. Get help.
I
Don't bully
like
me
that.
today.
We're so mean.
That's funny.
And then I said, can you finish this as my essay prompt? I did not word that way. Well,
Did I figure
can
it
you
out, though?
finish this as my essay prompt?
Is
I
it-
want to be, and then I put ... I said, certainly, here's a continuation for your essay prompt, I want to be. It says, I want to be someone who makes a positive impact on the world.
Hey.
Growing up, I've always admired people who dedicate their lives to helping others, whether it's through teaching, volunteering, or simply being a kind and supportive friend. I inspire to embody these qualities and use my strengths and passions to contribute to society in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
Good.
Does that sound AIT?
Let me read it again.
Oh, there's more.
I'm a visual person.
Yeah. I could definitely hear that as a child could write that. Depending on which kid though, like if it's little Timmy from down the street.
I think that sounds fine, honestly, and I think that I think is the problem is it's getting better.
Yeah.
This is the 4.0 version.
If this were a 7th grader and they used embody, I'd be like, you use a thesaurus because I don't think kids usually use that.
Also,
but this is way better than the honor society.
One of the reasons I was giggling is it printed this so fast. Yeah. And my phone was like vibrating the whole time as if I was typing on the keyboard, and it was funny to me. Yeah. And then I said, I'm kind of disappointed you didn't give me the Pokemon theme song.
Well, because you should have said I want to be the very best.
I didn't want to give it too much.
Well, yeah,
and it said I understand. Here's a version of the prompt I want to be with the Pokemon theme song inspiration.
All right.
Inspiration.
I want to be the very best. Like no one ever was.
Yeah.
To achieve greatness and reach my full potential is my quest, and the journey to get there will be my test.
Oh, I thought it was
I know.
Yeah.
Life
not good enough. Not good enough.
Yeah. Life is full of challenges.
ChatGPT.
Life is full of challenges and opportunities, and I am determined to rise to the occasion, no matter what it takes. To become the best, I know I must be disciplined, focused, and resilient. Each day is a chance to learn something new, to train harder, and to push beyond my limits.
Okay.
Like a Pokemon trainer, I will seek out mentors and experiences that will help me grow and evolve.
Lost it.
Lost me.
Yeah, really lost it.
Catching every opportunity that comes my way is my real test. I will strive to excel in my studies, participate in extracurricular activities, and take on leadership roles. Each experience will teach me valuable lessons and skills that will prepare me for future success. My true calling, though, goes beyond personal achievement. Just as Pokemon trainers form
this?
Too long.
Yeah, I'm like checked out mentally.
It's like 6 paragraphs.
I'm checked out mentally. Yeah.
Wait, I want to read this one.
Don't
My
read it all.
true calling, though, goes beyond personal achievement. Just as Pokemon trainers form bonds with their Pokemon, I want to build strong relationships with the people around me. I aim to be a supportive friend, a reliable team member, and a compassionate leader. Together, we can overcome obstacles and achieve great things.
Together we can be a blast
and then
to their charms.
The next start of the thing is to travel across the land, searching far and wide for knowledge and experiences is part of my journey.
All right.
I think I'm good. I'm okay.
Yeah. I don't need 6 paragraphs with this.
Oh, there's only a couple more sentences.
No. He's gonna do it anyway.
I want to read it for me. Fine, I'll read it to you.
No.
Whether it's through traveling, reading, or meeting new people, I am eager to broaden my horizons and gain a deeper understanding of the world. Ultimately, I want to become someone who makes a positive impact on others, inspiring them to pursue their own dreams and passions. By working hard, staying true to my values, and embracing each challenge with determination and enthusiasm, I believe I can become the very best in whatever path I choose.
To say inspired by the Pokemon theme song, I think is a little generous.
Yeah, they're just using
it was written by
lyrics.
somebody who really likes Pokemon, and that's the only thing they care about, and they just really wanted to include it in here and there.
Yeah.
Feel free to adjust it to fit your specific goals and aspirations.
No, thank you,
I'm
Jack.
good. I'm good.
I'm okay.
It's not perfect, but...
No, but
it is getting better, though.
It was very...
It is getting better.
Related to the theme
Also,
song.
though... That's the paid version. If you use the free version, would it be different?
I don't know.
We'll figure that out next episode.
Next time on
Survivor.
Yeah.
Did you watch this week?
Yes. What happened? Did you?
No.
No, but I know who was home.
Yeah, same. I don't.
Oh, yeah. No, it was...
Yeah, Big Bertha.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. Mm-hmm. We've been going on it for like an hour now.
Well, thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Support your small businesses.
We are a small business.
We're a small indie company.
Tiny.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Alright. Do you have the mouse? You do.